We'll now open the Revere License Commission meeting, October 21st. I'm going to take the items out of order. St. Anthony's of Padua Church. Please state your name and address for the record, please.
My name is George Anzoni, 141 Fenley Street, Revere, Mass. I'm here on behalf of the application of the St. Anthony of Padua Church at 250 Revere Street, and move Father George Butero, who's the pastor there. The application is for a special one-day license for beer and wine for Friday night, October 23rd, from 6 to 12 a.m., 6 p.m. to 12 a.m., in the celebration of the St. Anthony's Feast.
Great. Questions?
How many are you expecting at the feast?
About 250 people.
About 250.
Yeah.
And this will be the same as the yearly feast that we have
Yes,
there?
it's the same as the yearly feast. It's the annual
Okay.
feast.
And, of course, this will be set aside in the back there where it won't be
Yes,
out
it'll be
in
in the
the...
back where it's usually located, correct.
Be same. Yeah, it's a wonderful event. I look forward to it every year.
Good.
And I have no other questions.
Okay.
I have no questions. Are there any proponents that want to speak on behalf of the church? Hearing and seeing none. Are there any opponents? Hearing and seeing none. I'll make a motion to approve. Is there a second to that motion?
I'll second the motion.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All
Thank
set.
you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Also want to note that Commissioner LaCroix is not here today. If any vote goes to a tie or we feel that it should be tabled, we'll make every effort to have that resolved as soon as Commissioner LaCroix returns. First item is, second item is Black Marble Motorcycles, LLC, doing business as Boston Harley. Please state your name and address for the record, please.
William Perry, 122 Harrison Ave.
Great. And can you tell us what event you're planning?
Well, we
This
got
is-
our,
And this is for a special one-day license,
yes,
malt and wine.
yep. We have our annual Halloween party. It's Saturday, October 31st, from noon to 4 p.m. It's held inside at the dealership. We're going to be having all kinds of different things, pumpkin carving, free food for the kids, trick-or-treating. We have a costume contest, a departmental costume contest, and all different types of specials going on. We're going to be having Yingling as our alcohol vendor. They're going to be coming out and serving beer only, no wine at this event. And how we're going to monitor that is going to be wristbands given out at the Yingling table. The wristbands cost $6. It gets you 3 beers. So there's a 3 beer per person maximum for this event.
Great. Normally I'm in support of any type of entertainment or anything that will improve business in the area. However, based on the fact that it's on Halloween and I'm conscious of the neighbors, and also that there is going to be a local children's parade in that area, and so I'm not. Otherwise, normally I would probably would be in I would approve something like that. I just feel I really couldn't support it on this particular day. That would be my my take on it. My colleague may have a different opinion, and if it goes to a 1-1 vote, then we can have Commissioner LaCroix weigh in on that and vote. At this point, I just can't support that.
Okay. If I could say one thing.
I have to agree with Commissioner Quarantello. All of the events that you've had so far have been great, and it's been great having you come to our community. But on this particular weekend, and Halloween falls on a Saturday, so I think we're going to have little goblins out there on Friday and Saturday. And there is a large child's parade in that area that's going to be marching up to the schools. So in that area, we're going to be dealing with a lot of traffic that evening. And like I say, the little goblins are going to be out. So I would have to agree on any other time, and I think this board has been great with any events that you've had, and they've all been run very nicely. But I think on this particular evening, I don't think I could support this either.
Okay.
And, I mean, like I say, any other time, but I think that's a day in the city for the children.
Fair enough.
Having said that, I will ask for any proponents that want to speak on behalf of this establishment. Hearing and seeing none, are there any opponents? Hearing and seeing none.
Do I have permission to make a few comments to potentially sway your vote? Or?
Sure, absolutely.
Okay. We do hold this event annually every year. Like most of our event, like all of our events, we'd love to have a huge turnout. This one usually doesn't. We might have a few gentlemen, maybe a few fathers that want to purchase the beer or the wristbands. The majority of the people that attend this event don't do the alcohol. Some years we've actually just gone away with it altogether because it's pointless to ask a vendor to come out or to do all the work if we've done it ourselves, to have a few people behind the table serving the beer, because it's not really what it's about. It's not a drinking, live band, rock and roll type of event. It's more pumpkin carving for the kids. The children can go around through the departments and get candy. We have the costume contest, which is fun. Really why we do the beer is not to promote, hey, come on down and let's drink a ton of beer. Actually, none of our events have that reason behind it. But really what it's just for is those fathers that are, if I could make a little joke, standing there with the wife and kids, and they're having fun doing the kids' things, and maybe the dad wants to walk around and have a beer or two. Normally in years past, we've just done 2 beers. This year we decided, a lot of our customers are pretty responsible, so we offered the 3. If we could bump that down to a minimum, and the only reason why I ask is because on our flyer, we didn't think that this was going to be the answer because we've never had an issue before. We have on our flyer, which has been out there in the public, it says, free food and beverages and serving beer. Unfortunately, we had the flyers come out before we got the permit because we really didn't think there would be an issue. But if you guys want to put a minimum on that, 1 beer, 2 beers, really that's what the event is about. It's just kind of that added, the dad would like a beer or something like that.
I'm really not opposed to the event itself. And I also am, I look at your organization, you've done a great job with that area, put a lot of money into that building, totally want to be supportive to it. I think we've demonstrated that in the past. I'm just very uncomfortable, just given the day. I would say that I wouldn't be opposed to you holding the event without the liquor. But my colleague may think differently. I just can't support the alcohol.
Okay, fair enough.
Yes, I would have to agree. I just, when they leave there, they are going out into the streets. They do have their children. If they still want to come, and they, like you say, they only want 1 beer, 2 beers. If they really want to go out and enjoy the evening with their children, it sounds like a great time. I don't think they need that 1 beer on that particular evening. And I'm sorry, this is probably the first time this board has had to deny a license there because, like you say, your events have been great, but it's just the timing of this. There's so many events going on for Halloween for the children.
It's just a tough day.
Yeah, no, I totally
It really
agree.
is. If Halloween was on a Friday and this was on a Saturday, my thought process is a lot different.
Right.
So
Right, and it would have made a longer Halloween weekend for the children, but I think in the same day having the parade and whatnot, it's a little much,
Sure, that's fine with me.
So
apologize, but
No problem.
that's our position. I'll make a motion to deny the license. Is there a second to that motion?
I'll second the
All in
motion.
favor, say aye.
Aye.
And if I may, I'm actually going to leave a few flyers here. If any of you guys or the staff would want to come down and bring the children for the pumpkin carving and all that stuff.
Great. Thank you very much.
Can I leave
Thank you, I appreciate it.
Thanks. Item number 3, Speedway LLC doing business as Speedway, number 2409 and 2479. Hello, please state your name and address for the record, please.
Kimberly Destro, 4108 Burbank. I
Yeah.
represent both stores in Revere.
Okay. And you're applying for a change of corporate name?
Yes.
Okay. And what was it formerly?
Actually, Americana is the parent company.
Yep.
And Cash Retail Stores is actually already Speedway, but the licenses haven't been approved yet. So they're merging.
Can she speak up, please?
Please
Yes.
speak up. Thank you.
Basically, they're
Pull that in.
merging,
Yep.
okay?
Please
Pull it down.
pull the mic down.
There you go.
Basically, they're merging.
Okay.
They're both owned by Marathon. That's the parent company. Marathon owns Speedway. Speedway purchased all of his retail operations. So now they're changing the name. It's merging, and the licenses will need to be changed shortly.
Okay, so the operations aren't changing in any
No,
way, they're
it's
just
exactly the
maintaining?
same.
Just changing name and all, name only, okay,
Superficially, the outsides have to reflect Speedway.
gotcha. Okay, any questions?
Have the papers all been filed in Boston, and
Yes.
you have?
Mhm.
Okay. I have no questions.
Are there any proponents that want to speak on behalf of Speedway? Hearing and seeing none, are there any opponents? Hearing and seeing none. I'll make a
Motion to,
motion to approve.
I'll
that
second.
motion.
I'll second the motion. Thank
All in
you.
favor, say aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Okay. Moving right along here. Item number 4 is Uno Restaurant, LLC, doing business as Uno Chicago Grill. Please state your name and address for the record, please.
Christy Barone, 210 Squire Road in Revere.
Great. And this is for a change of manager from Doug Scott? Is that correct?
Correct.
To you?
Correct.
Great. Okay, and can you give us a little bit of background on experience and,
I've been with the company for 25 years, and I just switched over from the Huntington Ave location in downtown to Revere in July.
okay, great. And what do you plan in terms of hours spent at the establishment?
I do approximately between 50 and 60 hours a week, and on call 24/7.
Okay, great. I don't have any questions.
Okay. Sounds great. Another great establishment in our city. So
I should have brought you some lunch.
So nothing's going to change. Everything is the same other than the manager. I have no other questions.
I didn't know if you needed, I have 2 copies of the documentation. I was told to bring
Sure,
these.
that would be
Did we
great.
give it?
Are there any opponents that want to speak on behalf of this issue or establishment?
Hearing none, close that.
Yeah. Hearing and seeing none, we'll close that. Any opponents? Hearing and seeing none, I'll make a motion to approve the transfer.
I'll second the motion.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All set, thank you.
Thank you.
Item number 5 is Sharad Shah doing business as the Breadbasket Discount Store. This is an application for a new malt wine package store license.
Hi, I'm Sharad Shah, owner of a Breadbasket convenience store, and he's my son and lawyer.
Anyway,
Hirak Shah, son, and represent. I filled out the license application
Okay.
for him.
great. And so you're applying for a malt and wine package license, is that correct?
Yep, that's correct. We've owned the Breadbasket since 2004, and just in terms of being able to remain economically viable with the store across the street as well as other stores which have liquor licenses, we just in terms of remaining economically viable.
Okay, so what I would suggest, Mr. Shah, in this case is, I'm going to suggest tabling this issue until Commissioner LaCroix can respond on that. And my reason for that is if it's denied, you don't have the ability to come back for a year. And so I'd like to table that until Commissioner LaCroix has a chance to weigh in, and we can vote at that point in time.
Okay, would that be motion to the November meeting, or?
That's correct,
Yes.
November meeting.
Okay, is there anything that we can do in the meantime to help our application, or if
Does
there's
Does he
any?
have plans, floor plans or anything? Did we receive
Yeah,
anything?
we submitted.
We
floor
okay.
What I'll do is, we'll consider doing maybe a special meeting for that then,
Oh,
when he has an opportunity to do that, so maybe in the next week or two.
okay, yeah,
Okay.
that'll be fine, and, you
Yeah,
know,
I certainly don't want to hold you up, but I also don't want you in a position where, you know, if the vote went a certain way,
mhm.
you wouldn't have the ability to come back here. So I want to make sure everybody has the ability to weigh in.
Sure, sure, and if, obviously, we're open, if there's any concerns amongst the commissioners, right now, if anything, we can help with the application.
Yeah, I don't have any concerns at the moment. I really want to get into that when Commissioner LaCroix is here. But I don't have, I mean, clearly the place has been in operations for quite a while under your family, so
Yeah,
I don't have any issues with that. I understand, you know, that you're competing with the rest of the, you know, places in the area. So I'm sympathetic to that and conscious of it.
okay, so, we'll get a notice of the.
Yeah,
the next meeting?
I'll have a letter, we'll have a letter sent out here
Okay,
shortly.
okay, so,
I just want to be able to touch base with Commissioner LaCroix and Commissioner Guanasso and determine what the best day would be.
okay, thank you very much, so we'll, look forward to seeing you at the special meeting.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Thank you. La Fonda Americana, doing business as La Fonda Paisa. Please state your name and address for the record, please.
Name's Corey Rhodes. I'm an attorney with D'Ambrosio Brown, LLP, 14 Proctor Avenue in Revere. I represent La Fonda Americana. Antonio Gomez is here today. He's the president of the corporation and kind of the principal running the business. Mr. Quarantello, I don't believe you were here last month when we came before the commission on alcohol transfer. At that time, it was identified there was an issue in our publication regarding the entertainment license. So the alcohol transfer was approved at that time, and we are now here regarding the entertainment license. This is at 46 Revere Street. The current business is being sold to Antonio Gomez. They're going to be running a very similar restaurant there. They've been working at the facility for a number of years, and the only difference on the entertainment license from what was previously there is they'd like to do some karaoke for their customers. At the last hearing, there were some concerns raised in regards to noise in the back parking lot, especially at closing time. This was, frankly, new information that there hadn't been any noise complaints or complete police action at the property that my clients were aware of, but they do want to make sure that they're addressing that and being good neighbors. I did submit for my clients a policy that they put together, that they're working with their staff to make sure that as part of just the general closing procedure of the restaurant, that they're going to be actually making sure that they're watching the parking lot, keeping track that people aren't honking horns or singing in the parking lot or anything like that as they leave, and just not loitering and getting on with their evening.
My understanding is that most recently we've had some concerns from residents regarding patrons leaving the establishment and broken bottles, noise.
I think we only know of one concern, but we do want to address that concern, definitely.
Mm-hmm.
As far as we understand, there haven't been any noise complaints filed with the Revere Police Department, and if there are new things that have come to light, we want to address those as well.
Mm-hmm. Great. Any questions?
Well, I'd like to see if there are any, I'd like to save my comments till the end. If there's any proponents or opponents, I'd like to get as much information as possible.
Okay, so I'll hear from the opponents
Okay.
at this point in time. Please state your name and address for the record, please.
Christine Molly, 11 Danby Road, Stoneham. I'm the trustee of the Lapido family property at Carlton Street. My backyard of my family home abuts the property on Revere Street. I was here last month and voiced some concerns about the activity in the rear parking lot. And I would like to restate that the owners of the property have been fairly good neighbors. They've been responsive to any concerns we've had in the past when the fence was down or when the dumpster was pushed under our kitchen window. They were very responsive in moving things. However, it has been noisy on occasions there with alarms going off on cars, horns beeping. As I spoke about the last time I was here, there was a party in the back parking lot at one point. I know that was addressed at the last meeting. My aunt who lives in the home and my mother, my aunt is 103 years old, my mother is 91. And as you can imagine, being in that close proximity to an establishment in general that's serving alcohol is worrisome to us as a family. I think that, you know, adding entertainment just puts it at a different level. For many, many years, my family endured the back parking lot on the Broadway side of us, which was the home of a restaurant and a nightclub for many, many years. And I can attest to the fact, as a child, all of the police activity that took place in the parking lot at closing time at that establishment on the Broadway side of our home. So I'm just appealing to the board to please consider that we currently are the only people abutting that property. The home next door to us is currently vacant and being renovated. That was the former Bonfilio home. That's currently being renovated. I do not believe there are residents there now, but their bedroom windows will abut right next to that parking lot. So I appeal to you to, you know, take into consideration people that have been residents of that property for almost 100 years. So,
I just have a couple of questions. Have you noticed any, I've received complaints about broken bottles around, and have you noticed anything like that in the area of?
we have had trash in our backyard, but it's really kind of hard to say, you know, without me seeing where that trash has come from, beer cans, bottles, things like that. You know, we're in between two properties. We have
Yes,
a
I know.
parking lot behind us and
where it
a
is.
parking lot on the side of us. So I can't say for sure, but we do very often have beer bottles, beer cans, coffee cups, you know, that kind of stuff in the backyard.
Okay, thank you.
So how do you plan to address those issues? I'm sorry, are there any other opponents that want to speak on behalf of this? Okay, hearing and seeing none. Can you address some of those issues?
If I may, we did get authorization from the owner of the 12-unit apartment building on the other side of Revere Street. I believe it's 45 Revere Street. That's a 12-unit apartment building. I did just forward this to the clerk as well. You are authorized to share this email with the Revere City Hall Licensing Board. I'm the principal of the entity that owns the 12-unit apartment building across from the restaurant. I have no objection to the transfer of the existing license to the new owners. There have not been any problems of which I have been made aware caused by operation of the restaurant during the current owner's operation and ownership. This is Sharad Associates LP by Harvey Berg. I did just want to share that with the commission.
Okay, that's the owner of the building, that's not the tenants.
No, but you
Right.
would hope to think that if tenants are having issues, they're calling their landlord to complain. At least that would be where I would make a phone call, or to the police.
Right, well, not always they won't call. Okay.
So I'm more interested in the issues that we already have, and how you're planning to control that with karaoke or entertainment. Because quite honestly, I can sympathize with Ms. Smalley. I've been in that situation myself. We lived next door to a restaurant, and it was trying at times, to say the least.
Sure.
And so I'm very sympathetic in that respect. So can you address some of that?
I guess my first point would be that entertainment's actually not a new thing at this establishment. It has had entertainment. The only new aspect of this entertainment would be karaoke. If you would like to do some reduced hours on the karaoke, we would be willing to address that. My other suggestion would possibly be maybe a sort of a probationary period to put something in place where we could come back in 2 months and see if there have been any concerns, any complaints from neighbors. And frankly, if there's any concerns at any time, we're happy to come back. We do want to show that these new owners are willing to take the responsibility and make this a good functioning establishment for the neighborhood and to be good neighbors.
The problem being with this establishment started out as a catering service, then it was a little breakfast place, then it was a dinner place, and now to me, it seems like it's a small building, very limited occupancy there, and now it's more about the alcohol, live entertainment, and I am concerned that it's going to become a neighborhood bar is what we're looking at here. And that's the last thing we need. Blending in with the neighborhood is, what we're looking for.
Okay.
And when I gave the beer and wine to this establishment, they were only open till like 7 o'clock. Now we're open till 1, now we've got full alcohol, now we want karaoke. And I tell you, karaoke, to me, is loud. I mean, it's any place that I go, people are singing, it's a fun thing, and I can appreciate how they would want it, but they are in a heavily residential area, and that's why that has always been restaurant, early closing, and this issue, I'm sure they're well aware of it because the parties went over there with the broken bottles, sweeping them up. As a matter of fact, someone cut their hand trying to clean up broken bottles over there.
That was one thing they did want to address too, that they actually don't serve glass bottles at their restaurant.
They do.
But that kind of beer that they find, I think like maybe
Okay, maybe it's a little different.
Things to put on the way. But like at this point, everybody can go tell we find a broken bottles, things happen in there, things don't really happen. So trying to put stuff on the way. So that was a beer, a lady went there, complained, say every day she find a beer there, and that's a lie because she live like 3 houses down, and people don't really go there, and that kind of beer she bring there and never sell that beer in the restaurant either. So I don't think
Well, I think when she said she came to you, you said that you would keep an eye on it and you would make sure it didn't happen again, right? So, that woman, again, highly residential, she's lived there for over 70 years.
Yes, and I don't
These
know no trouble with them, but that's not from the restaurant. So can people go there, sit outside, drink, I don't know, but that kind of beer we don't sell in the restaurant.
Well, I don't know what kind of beer it was, but, that's something that I weigh very heavily as to how the residents feel about a business coming into their area.
And then I got some complaints about the color, people don't like the color, they want me to change the color, or they will come to complain to the city hall, and I don't know, they put a lot of things on the way before.
Yes, there were complaints about the color red. It is very bright. And of course, this board cannot tell you what to paint your building, but I did go by it. It is very bright. And as Counselor said, the people in the apartment house, there are 12 apartments, maybe they haven't complained to the landlord, but I've had 2 of them come up to me and say, what is with the red color? So,
People like it too.
yeah, some people do. I can't say, it's a matter of taste, but I can't get into the color you paint that. But again, it's all about working with the neighborhood. That's all that I ask out of this board, is that, you work with the neighborhood. That's why I'm on this board, is for the residents. Although I'm pro-business, I do want to see business flourish in our city. And, I've had people say a lot of good words about your business. But when it comes to the residents, and residents do come to you, I think you should listen to their complaints and try to work with them.
No, I try. I listen to what they're and
now is everything happening around there is the restaurant for.
But you gotta realize, it was quiet for a very long time. I
It's
mean,
still
we,
quiet.
my family frequents the
Yeah.
restaurant from time to time. But I also recognize that, you know, when you have, you know, more than one resident, you know, coming up and is concerned about, you know, the operations there, that concerns me. And quite honestly, you know, based on the fact that, you know, you've had some of these issues, I'm not inclined to support it today. I'm not to say that you couldn't come back later, you know, provided that, you know, I don't have any complaints, or we don't have any complaints from the neighbors, or I want to make, you know, I want you to be successful. I want any restaurant or any business in the city to be successful. I mean, I think it just makes for a better city. But at this point in time, I just can't support it.
If I could clarify, is that supporting no playing of music at the restaurant at all? It's just for the karaoke, or?
No, you're asking, right now, you're asking for live entertainment.
You're asking for
That's what
karaoke,
that
is
would
that
be.
correct?
We were asking for a change on the license to karaoke. I'm sure
Because you always had music.
there's always been music, yeah, this was the only new
Have you ever had
addition.
any complaints on music? Have your family? No.
No, so an entertainment,
Okay,
So I'm okay with the entertainment
Okay,
license
okay.
as it stands. I'm not in support of the karaoke.
okay. I was concerned.
And
it was
for a number of reasons, not only the complaints, but, you know, the neighborhood, you get tenants up above, you get tenants next door and across the street. To me, it's like, it's a different, it would be different than if you were sitting on Squire Road. I don't, you know what I'm saying? I don't have the same concerns.
Okay.
so what you have down here is an entertainment license to include karaoke on Friday, Saturday nights, as well as cable, TV, radio, and jukebox. I have no problem with any of those entertainment except the karaoke.
I think
As far as the jukebox and the,
we're fine taking that out then. If we understand that there are some concerns of what that could lead to. So if we may hopefully can show that we're good neighbors and that we're going to operate well and potentially come back in the future if we can show that.
Great.
Okay.
Are there any proponents that want to speak on behalf of this establishment? Hearing and seeing none, I'll close that side. I'm going to make a motion to approve the entertainment license as it stands today without the karaoke. Is there a second to that motion?
I'll second that motion.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
You're all
Good
set.
luck.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Item number 7, Sandra Sanchez, doing business as La Calenita. Calenita. Sorry about that. Please state your name and address for the record, please.
Daniel Surian, 128 Cambridge Street, Charlestown.
Okay. And so this is a transfer of a common victuals license.
That is correct.
Okay, and can you tell us what you're planning to do at the establishment and how that differs from what you've done in the past?
Basically, we're going to keep things the same. Same hours, same menu, changing the name. The seller does not allow us to keep the name anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So we came up with a new name. She's the owner. I'm assisting her. We're going to keep the same hours, the same menu. Basically, not a lot of changes.
No, and, what are the hours on here? What are the current hours on this license? Do we have it?
I think
What are
closing
the
time is 10 p.m.,
10?
8 a.m., 10 p.m.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you're the new owner? Can you have your name, please?
Sandra Sanchez.
You're Sandra? Oh, okay. And what experience have you had?
I'm sorry?
And what experience have you had in the restaurant business?
Well, she's the current owner of Las Vegas Restaurant and also on Shirley Avenue. Her husband.
Oh, you own the Las Vegas restaurant on Shirley Ave also?
Yes.
Okay, so what hours will you be putting in at this location?
Same hours as currently is, 10 p.m.
No, what hours will you be on the premises working there?
Oh, how many hours? Okay. 40, 50. Yeah, good 50 hours a week.
So who manages the other restaurant? Are you the manager?
The husband, no, the husband owns the other restaurant. She's been working there.
Okay, so he's the manager of the other one then?
Yeah, he's the
He's
owner
the-
and manager.
And manager,
Yes,
okay.
yes.
And you'll be the manager of this one?
Right.
Okay.
Nothing to do, two separate entities altogether.
No, I'm just trying to get the hours that she's going to put in. I thought you were working
Yeah, she won't be
both.
spending any time in Las Vegas. She's going to be
Okay.
concentrated here.
Although I have to be honest, I do have concerns. Lieutenant Randall, has the police department frequented Las Vegas at Shirley F?
Yeah, we've had incidents in the past with Las Vegas. We've been trying to work with them to.
So there isn't going to
Limit
be any
those.
alcohol at this establishment? This is just a common victuals
It is
license?
just a common victuals license.
So I would imagine that some of those problems that you had on Shirley Ave were related to alcohol? And that we wouldn't have any of those types of issues on Revere Street?
Correct. There was.
'Cause I have the same concerns. Obviously, it's a residential neighborhood. I mean, you've got the elderly next door, you've got, residential homes behind it, in front of it.
We talked to some of the neighbors already. We spoke with the landlord. She has learned a lot at Las Vegas restaurant. This is her first restaurant that she's going to operate on her own. Okay, so there's no relation between Las Vegas and this restaurant. She's going to be the sole operator and owner of the place.
Because I just, down the road, if you felt like that you wanted to bring beer and alcohol or at this establishment, I'm going to be upfront. I don't think I would support it at this point in time. You'd have to show me that we're not going to run into the same issues that we ran into at Shirley Ave. I recognize that they're separate and distinct places with different licenses, but just the same, what I want successful establishments that are respectful to the neighborhood, quiet, and you don't even know they're in there, because there's a lot of restaurants in the city that operate that way, and that's really what we're trying to strive for here. I don't have any other questions.
But I also think even in considering beer and wine, we're less than 300 feet from a church, so I don't think that's going to happen if you're going in that direction.
That's a good point.
Okay, so it will be a restaurant. Now, you're just buying the restaurant, is that it, or the building?
This one here?
Yes.
No, it's an existing place. It's an existing restaurant.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're just buying the restaurant, you're not buying the property?
No.
Okay,
Just the business only.
okay, great.
Okay, I have no other questions.
Are there any opponents that want to speak on behalf of this issue? Hearing and seeing none, I'll close that side of the argument. Any proponents? Hearing and seeing none. I'll make a motion to approve the license. Is there a second to that?
I'll second the motion.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All set.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Item number 8 has been tabled, hearing for the Burbank Inc.
Well, I
doing
think,
business as Flow Rack.
I
Sorry.
think we're going to make a motion to approve his continuance. Is
Yes,
he asking for continuance?
yes.
Okay.
So there is a motion. Is there a motion, I should say?
There's a motion to continue the Full Rack Smokehouse until next month's meeting.
Okay, I'll second that motion. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Item number 9, David and Tobie Katz, doing business as Tobie's Jewelry. This is a hearing for Tobie Jewelry regarding possible violations of the Revere City ordinances regarding reporting requirements for dealers in regulated property. It's our understanding that the police department has asked you on several occasions to report electronically the transactions that have taken place at the establishment. We have you here today because it's been since 2013, and they want you to address those issues. So my question to you is, why are you not complying with the city ordinance in the Revere Police Department?
Okay, basically, where we're at this point is, I got in touch with Sergeant Lynn Rowley, and she explained to us exactly what the procedure is, how everything has to be sent and how everything has changed. The last time we were actually doing, we were told, we were doing it by the license.
Please speak into the mic, I'm sorry.
Sorry.
With the license with the picture. We did make.
Sorry, pull that down some more, I'm sorry. Thank you.
We did make several inquiries as to how about going this, whatever was necessary to do it. We got no response. We did not have anybody as a contact person. I called the licensing commission, I had called the police department several times, and everybody gave me different information. We just didn't go anywhere. Well, it wasn't.
My understanding is that you do this at other establishments outside the city, is that correct?
I have another store, yes.
Okay.
Yes, and we've been doing that since they instituted. And how it happened was, they came into our store, to all the different stores, and told us there was going to be a special meeting, and we went to the meeting, and they gave us instruction sheets, and they gave us an entire format, how to do everything. And then they came back the following week to each individual store and gave us a run-through, so we knew exactly what we were doing. That's how we did it.
Okay.
And I spoke to, when we got the certified letter, I spoke to Sergeant Lynn Ramboli. She got back to me today, and she gave me all the information, and we have a computer in our store in Salem. In the Revere store, we do not have one. And she told us exactly who it has to go to, dealers at reverepolice.org, and it has to be an Excel spreadsheet. She sent that to us, and a list of the buys. It's done on a weekly, at the end of the week. And then she said everything that we purchase, we have to have a copy machine, which we do, and we take the pieces that we purchased, put it on the copy machine, and copy that, and keep it for our records.
Okay, so I'm not here to give you a hard time about it. I mean, we have certain regulations we got to live up to, and my question to you is, are you going to comply with the regulation?
Of course.
Okay, that's all I want to know.
Oh, yeah, most definitely. Now that I know exactly what to do.
Okay.
But how does this differ from what the city of Revere does to your other location?
Okay, let me show you.
But basically, it's the same. It's just keeping the records of the Revere's.
Okay, see, we have the same sheet.
Please speak into the mic. I'm sorry.
We have the exact same sheet that we use, and we take the license, and it says what the type, brand, model, all the description of what it exactly is, and then we send one copy goes to the Salem Police Department, and the other one goes to...
And are those done electronically?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, they are. And the other one goes to RISPROP.
Okay. So all I'm asking is that you comply with the ordinance that...
Oh, most
and the
definitely.
regulations the city has.
Oh, yeah.
Other than that, I'm good with it. It just got to a point where it's been since 2013, regardless of where, where the misunderstanding is.
Yeah.
I just want to make sure that they're getting what they need, and you're doing it in the format that they need it in. That's all I really want to do.
Understood.
Okay?
Yep.
Other than that, I'm good.
I got it.
I'm good.
Okay, thank you.
All right, thank you.
Okay, thanks.
Item number 10 is a board discussion regarding closing hours for New Year's Eve, and I am going to table that until the next meeting. Is there a second to that motion? That is in the way of a motion. Is there a second to that?
I'll second the motion.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
The next meeting is November 18th. Wednesday, November 18th. I will make a motion to adjourn. Is there a second to that motion?
I'll second the motion.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye.